Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Nuryanti Aziza, biasa dipanggil Miss Anti. Selamat datang di SMA Nasional KPS, sekolah menengah atas yang terletak di Kota Balikpapan dengan visi unggul, rujukan, internasional, dan memiliki 9 program unggulan.
Halo semuanya.
Kami dari tim peneliti SMA Nasional KPS Balikpapan. Saya Valerie.
Saya Bimo.
Saya Safira. Dan di sini kami mengikuti lomba Krenova 2025 dengan mengangkat judul penelitian Inovasi Lokal B100 dari Minyak Jelantah. Solusi Green Economy untuk Kemandirian Energi Berkelanjutan di Balikpapan.
Selamat menyaksikan eksperimen kami.
Inovasi yang kami kembangkan adalah B100, biodiesel murni yang kami olah langsung dari minyak jelantah bekas. Yap, minyak yang biasanya dibuang, kami ubah menjadi energi yang ramah lingkungan. Metode yang kami gunakan adalah metode distilasi dengan minyak jelantah sebagai bahan bakunya. Kami mencampurkan NaOH sebagai katalis dengan alkohol hingga membentuk metoksida. Metoksida ini kemudian dicampurkan dengan minyak jelantah dan diproses melalui distilasi, yaitu pemisahan campuran berdasarkan perbedaan titik didih dan tekanan uap. Hasilnya terbentuk dua fase, gliserol dan asam lemak metil ester. Setelah melalui tahap pencucian dan pengeringan, jadilah biodiesel murni atau B100. Tapi kenapa sih kami memilih B100 sebagai inovasi?
Minyak jelantah menjadi perhatian serius di Balikpapan karena memicu kesehatan dan bahkan lingkungan. Jika dibuang sembarangan, minyak jelantah bisa menyumbat saluran drainase, meningkatkan risiko banjir, serta merusak kesuburan tanah. Lebih parahnya lagi, pemanasan minyak berulang kali dapat memutus ikatan strukturnya, menghasilkan senyawa berbahaya yang dapat memicu penyakit degeneratif seperti gangguan jantung, pembuluh darah, hati, hingga kanker.
Kebutuhan bahan bakar terus meningkat, terutama di sektor transportasi. Tapi sayangnya, cadangan fosil semakin menipis dan dampaknya serius. Mulai dari polusi udara hingga emisi gas rumah kaca. Apalagi sekarang, marak kasus pengoplosan bensin di Indonesia, yang bikin kualitas bahan bakar jadi nggak aman. Biodiesel jadi alternatif yang lebih ramah lingkungan dan berkelanjutan, terutama kalau dibuat dari limbah minyak jelantah. Selain membantu kurangi limbah, minyak jelantah juga jauh lebih murah dibanding minyak nabati murni, sehingga bisa tekan biaya produksi hingga 70%. Tentunya, penelitian kami nggak cuma soal inovasi, tapi juga punya manfaat dan tujuan yang luar biasa. Nah, berikut ini penjelasannya.
Karena tujuan penelitian kami adalah mengolah minyak jelantah menjadi biodiesel sebagai sumber energi alternatif yang lebih ramah lingkungan dan mengidentifikasi manfaat ekonomi dari pemanfaatan biodiesel dalam konteks ekonomi hijau yang inklusif dan berkelanjutan.
Adapun manfaat yang kami dapat, yaitu dengan menyediakan sumber energi alternatif yang lebih ramah lingkungan. Yang kedua ada mendorong penerapan teknologi ramah lingkungan. Yang ketiga ada pemberdayaan ekonomi lokal. Keempat ada mengurangi pencemaran lingkungan melalui pemanfaatan minyak jelantah sebagai biodiesel. Dan yang terakhir adalah mendukung inovasi.
Inovasi kami mempunyai potensi besar untuk dikembangkan. Kalau kalian pikir prosesnya rumit, justru sebaliknya. Biodiesel ini bisa dibuat secara sederhana, cukup panaskan minyak jelantah, tambahkan metoksida, diamkan hingga mengendap, lalu saring. Siapapun bisa melakukannya. Dengan sumber daya yang melimpah dan biaya produksi yang terjangkau, biodiesel bisa dijual sekitar 12.500 per liter, sangat cocok untuk sektor industri, terutama manufaktur dan transportasi. Keunggulannya tentunya lebih aman, ramah lingkungan, efisien, dan bisa langsung dicampur dengan solar tanpa modifikasi mesin. Ini membuktikan bahwa B100 mempunyai potensi besar untuk dikembangkan lebih luas.
Dari permasalahan lingkungan hingga krisis energi, kami mencoba menghadirkan solusi lewat inovasi B100. Biodiesel dari minyak jelantah bukan hanya ramah lingkungan, tapi juga ekonomis dan berkelanjutan. Kami berharap inovasi ini bisa dikembangkan lebih luas, khususnya di Balikpapan, untuk mendukung kemandirian energi dan mendorong lahirnya lebih banyak inovasi hijau. Karena perubahan besar selalu dimulai dari langkah sederhana.
Kami dari tim peneliti SMA Nasional KPS. Saya Safira.
Saya Bimo.
Saya Valerie.
Chemistry Country 1,
2, 3,
Chemistry. Sampai jumpa di final Krenova 2025.
Rambut diwarnai, rambut berketombe, rambut berminyak, rambut rontok.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the International Seminar of SMA Nasional KPS. Where 12 grade students will be presenting their scientific papers as part of their learning journey.
Before we begin, allow us to introduce ourselves. I am Jennifer Alexandra Lee.
And I am Rafa Akbar Ridwanullah.
And we will be guiding you through today's event from start to finish. Before we officially open the program, permit us to extend our warmest greetings to the distinguished guests present with us this morning.
The Honorable Head of the Senior High School Division of the Regional Office of the Department of Education 1 East Kalimantan Province.
The Honorable Chairman of the Nasional KPS School Foundation, Mr. Dr. Andes Rauh Rudiatmoko, MPD.
The Honorable Principal of SMA Nasional KPS, Ms. Nuryanti Aziza, MPD.
The Vice Principal of Curriculum, Facilities and Infrastructure, Mr. Abdul Hamid Sudiono, SSI, MPD.
The Honorable Vice Principal of Student Affairs and Public Relations, Ms. Anissa Larsati, MPD.
The Honorable Mr. Ainun Zulfikar, STMT, PhD, as our first reviewer.
The Honorable Mr. Professor Dr. Hasbi Shamshir, M. Hum, as our second reviewer.
The Honorable Mr. Vishen Nair Chandran, MED, as our third reviewer.
The Honorable Ms. Ekaterina Vasilyeva, PhD, as our fourth reviewer.
The Honorable Ms. Julie Meltzer, PhD, as our fifth reviewer.
The Honorable teachers of SMA Nasional KPS, as well as the parents and guardians of the students.
And our beloved student of SMA Nasional KPS. Let us together give thanks and praise to God Almighty for His abundant blessing, allowing us to gather here today in good health and happiness.
To seek blessings and smooth proceedings for today's event, let us begin with a prayer together. the prayer will be led by Royan. We invite Royan to please begin.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before we begin today's international seminar, let us take a moment to pray according to our own religions and beliefs, so that this event may run smoothly, bring valuable knowledge, and give blessings to all of us. For the Muslim participants, let us begin by reciting Surah Al-Fatihah together. Participants of other religions are kindly invited to pray according to their own beliefs. Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Hamdan syakirin, hamdan na'imin, hamdan yuafi ni'amahu wa yukafi'u mazidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhikal karim wa 'azimi sultanik. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad. Allahumma ighfir lana dhunubana wa liwalidayna warhamhuma kama rabbayana sighara. Allahumma inna nas'aluka salamatan fid din wa afiyatan fil jasad wa ziyadatan fil ilm wa barakatan fil rizq wa taubatan qabla al maut wa rahmatan 'inda al maut wa maghfiratan ba'da al maut. Allahumma hawwin 'alaina fi sakaratil maut wan najata minan nari wal 'afwa 'indal hisab. Allahumma inna na'udzu bika minal hammi wal hazan wa na'udzu bika minal jubni wal bukhl wa na'udzu bika min ghalabatid daini wa qahrir rijal. Allahumma 'afina fi badana, Allahumma 'afina fi sam'ina, Allahumma 'afina fi absarina. Rabbana hab lana min azwajina wa dhurriyyatina qurrata a'yunin waj'alna lil muttaqina imama. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaytana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmatan wa hayyi' lana min amrina rashada. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-huda wat-tuqa wal-'afwa wal ghina. Rabbana zalamna anfusana wa illam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Royan, for leading us in prayer today. Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly ask everyone to please rise as we are going to sing the Indonesian anthem, Indonesia Raya, which will be led by our fellow student, Evely Selena Wijaya. To Evely, please come forward. Please rise.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may now be seated. Next, we will be hearing the welcoming remarks from the Principal of SMA Nasional KPS Balikpapan, Ms. Nurianti Aziza, MPD. We warmly invite Ms. Anti to please proceed.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The distinguished head of KPS School Foundation, Bapak Raul Rudiatmoko, MPD, the distinguished or the honorable guests, Ibu Satya Dewi from the regional office of Balikpapan, area 1 of the province of East Kalimantan, our reviewer who is attending offline today, Mr. Ainun Zulfikar, MT PhD from LPPM ITK. Our public relation and also promotion of Yayasan Sekolah Nasional KPS Ibu Ita Saripati, and the representative of committee of SMA Nasional KPS, Bapak Ferry. Our secretary of the foundation, school foundation, Bapak Suradi, Eskom. Our leaders is SMA Nasional KPS, Bapak Abdul Hamid Sudiono, SSI MPD, and Ibu Anissa Larasati, MPD, as our vice principal. And now, who are already in Zoom, Mr. Fisin R. Chandran, MED, from Malaysia. And also, our honorable reviewer from University of Mulawarman, Bapak Profesor Dr. Hasbi Samsir M.Hum, who is also in the Zoom. We are also having the reviewer from the United States of America, from the Institute of Human Education in Maine, USA, Miss Julie. We're from Russia, Miss Ekaterina Vasilseva, PhD, the member of Global Teachers Club or GTC. Yeah. I'd like to say hello for a little bit. Good morning, Mr. Hasbi Samsir, Profesor Hasbi Samsir. Assalamualaikum, Bapak. Can you hear me, Bapak? Okay, thank you very much. Yes, there's a little problem with our networking. Yeah, it's normal in the networking. We are trying to fix the problem. And now we are having our distinguished reviewer from the Institute of Human Education, Main USA, Miss Julie Meltzer. Hello, Miss Julie. How are you? Okay, thank you very much. Then to our presenters today, the students from grade 12, we are very proud of your achievement in showing your talent and your ability in delivering a scientific journal. Oh yes, now we are having the reviewer, Mr. Fisan from Malaysia. Assalamualaikum, Mr. Fisan from...
Gilbert, coba dari sini.
Hello, morning. Looking forward to
Belum bisa ya? Iya, kalau dari laptop bisa Pak. Kalau Zoom nampak deh. Screenshotnya mana? Ada di book.
are very capable, qualified in delivering scientific journal. We are again very proud of your achievement. One of our students, Valerie, has got 18 LOA, letter of acceptance. Congratulations, Valerie. And others as well. Here in this room, we have Neville also, who has got the LOA from Malaysia, right? Yeah. Hopefully, it's all becoming the support things and motivation to others, students in grade 10 and 11. Well, everybody, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Sini aja, kamu fokus transisi setelah ini Pak Awu ya.
Thank you, Ms. Auntie, for your inspiring remarks. Moving on to the next segment, let us now hear the welcoming remarks from the chairman of the Nasional KPS School Foundation, Mr. Dr. Andes Rauh Rudiatmoko, MPD. We warmly invite Mr. Rauh to come forward.
Buka contekan dulu, karena bahasa Inggris. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, rabbil alamin. Syukurillah hari ini kita bisa berkumpul di ruangan yang terkesan berwibawa karena kita akan mendengarkan bagaimana siswa-siswi kita untuk melaksanakan kegiatan seminar publikasi riset internasional. Tapi karena ini eventnya adalah internasional, maka saya buka contekan sedikit dalam bahasa Inggris. Boleh kan Bu Anti? Oke. Distinguished guys, ladies and gentlemen, our fellow board member of Yayasan, Pak Suradi dan Mbak Mirna, representative of branch office 1 Department of Education of its Kalimantan Province. Terima kasih. Ibu Roro, Dr. Ainun from Institut Teknologi Kalimantan, the principal of SMA Nasional KPS, Miss Nurianti Aziza, Head of Foundation Publication and Media Division, Ms. Ita Saripati, Vice Principal of SMA KPS, Mr. Hamid and Ms. Anissa, all reviewers from overseas and Indonesia, our understanding student teacher and all committee members, especially Mrs. Uli and the team, and all beloved students SMA Nasional KPS. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation and gratitude to Principal SMA KPS Ibu Anti, as a Vice Principal, and the entire academic team for their understanding, leadership, dedication, and continuous commitment in creating innovative and globally minded education program. Their hard work and vision have made this international seminar possible and meaningful for all participants. I am especially proud because the seminar brings together participants and reviewers from different country, background, and experience. This is what global education looks like: connected, collaborative, and future-oriented. To all students participating today, never underestimate your ideas. A simple research project today may become a breakthrough innovation tomorrow. Keep learning and keep exploring, and never stop being curious. As we often say in today's generation, this is the small step create big impact. And today you are taking one of those important steps toward becoming global citizen and future leader. Finally, I hope this international seminar will inspire stronger academic culture, wider international collaboration, and greater enthusiasm for research and publication among young generation. Thanks for your dedication, your energy, and your contribution to education. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Rao, for your wonderful remarks. Next, let us hear the welcoming remarks from the head of the Senior High School Division of the Regional Office of the Department of Education Region 1, East Kalimantan Province, Ms. Radendoro Ati Satya Prabata Dewi, SST. We kindly invite Ms. Roro to please proceed.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bapak Ibu, para hadirin sekalian, anak-anakku, sebelum Ibu memulai sambutan supaya suasananya lebih ceria, izinkan saya berpantun terlebih dahulu, boleh? Boleh ya? Nanti jawabnya cukup cakep aja. Pergi berlayar ke Pulau Derawan, singgah sejenak membeli rotan. Selamat datang para undangan di seminar internasional penuh wawasan. Burung enggang terbang melintas. Mana cakepnya ini kok sepi ya? Hinggap teduh di ranting pepohonan. Bangga kami menyambut dengan ikhlas di SMA KPS Balikpapan kebanggaan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Yang terhormat Ketua Yayasan Nasional KPS, Bapak Rawuh Rudiatmoko MPD, beserta jajaran pengurus, ada Pak Suradi dan Ibu Ita Saripati. Yang kami hormati Kepala SMA Nasional KPS Balikpapan, Ibu Nuryanti Aziza MPD beserta Bapak Ibu para wakil kepala sekolah. Yang kami hormati para penguji, dan kolaborasi, serta ada satu lagi nilai tambahnya adalah keberanian kalian untuk menyampaikan hasil penelitian tidak hanya di forum nasional tetapi juga internasional. Seminar internasional research publication ini menjadi bukti bahwa peserta didik tidak hanya belajar memahami teori tetapi juga mampu menuangkan ide, melakukan penelitian, menganalisis persoalan, dan menghadirkan solusi melalui karya ilmiah yang bernilai dan berdampak. Kehadiran para penguji dari Amerika, Rusia, Malaysia, dan Indonesia sendiri tentu menjadi kehormatan sekaligus pengalaman berharga bagi seluruh peserta didik. Ini menunjukkan bahwa dunia pendidikan saat ini menuntut generasi muda mampu berpikir global tanpa meninggalkan identitas dan karakter bangsa. Kami percaya bahwa melalui kegiatan ini akan lahir generasi pembelajar yang memiliki keberanian intelektual, kemampuan riset yang baik, serta semangat inovasi untuk menjawab tantangan zaman. Kami atas nama Cabang Dinas Pendidikan Wilayah 1 Provinsi Kalimantan Timur menyampaikan apresiasi dan terima kasih yang sebesar-besarnya kepada Yayasan Nasional KPS, kepala sekolah, guru pembimbing, para penguji dan reviewer, serta tentu saja tidak lupa seluruh panitia. Ini hebat sekali, panitianya di-arrange dari siswa kelas 10 dan 11, luar biasa, dan semua pihak yang telah mendukung terselenggaranya kegiatan ini. Semoga seminar internasional kedua Research Publication SMA Nasional KPS Balikpapan dapat menjadi wadah inspirasi, kolaborasi, dan pengembangan ilmu pengetahuan yang terus memberikan dampak positif bagi dunia pendidikan. Akhir kata, dengan mengucapkan Bismillahirrohmanirrohim. Seminar Internasional kedua Research Publication SMA Nasional KPS Balikpapan secara resmi saya nyatakan dibuka. Jauh melangkah mencari ilmu. Ilmu didapat jadi pedoman. Amerika, Rusia, Malaysia, Indonesia bersatu, bersama Indonesia membangun peradaban. Terima kasih, kurang lebihnya mohon maaf. Wabillahi taufik wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ms. Roro, for your wonderful remarks.
Before we proceed to the main program, let us take a moment to capture this memorable occasion with a group photo. For all the attendees and participants, you may now please stand up.
We also invite all the honorable reviewers, all school leaders, and honorable guests to please stand up for the group photo. We would like to invite our honorable reviewers and all school leaders as well as the honorable guests to join us up on the stage for another group photo to capture today's series of event. For our honorable guest, please take the floor. Kesini. Kan tadi kita udah di sini.
Kita nggak ikut dalam foto gitu ya?
Oke, ya udah. We would like to invite Pak Rau to also join the group photo. No, I have to look at the camera. One, two, three, smile. Okay. Yeah, go on. Yeah, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived at the highlight of today's event, the scientific paper presentation by our 12th grade students of SMA Nasional KPS Balikpapan.
However, before we begin the presentation session, allow us to first introduce the reviewers who will be evaluating today's scientific paper presentations.
Our reviewers will play a vital role in providing objective assessments and constructive feedback for all participants as part of the students' learning process and research quality development.
Let us give a warm round of applause for our first reviewer, Mr. Ainun Zulfikar, STMT, PhD from Kalimantan Institute of Technology.
Next, let us give a warm round of applause for Mr. Professor Dr. Hasbi Shamshir, M.Hum from Mula Warman University.
Next, let us give a big round of applause for Mr. Vishin Ner Chandran, MED from Malaysia.
Next, let us give a round of applause for Miss Ekaterina Vasilyeva, PhD from Russia.
And finally, let us give a big warm round of applause for Miss Julie Meltzer, PhD from the USA.
Now that we have been introduced to our reviewers who will be accompanying us throughout today's event, it is time for us to move into the scientific paper presentation session.
We would like to remind everyone that each presenter will be given 30 minutes for their presentation and question-answer session.
For our first presenter, we would like to invite Muhammad Izan Fahmi Alifia, presenting his paper titled Application of Euclidean Distance and Cosine Similarity in the Classification of the Indonesian Sign Language System. This presentation will be moderated by Chalita Naftali Graciana Ginting with Jennifer Fondra Tanse Putri as the minute taker. Let us give a warm round of applause for Izan and his team.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Good morning, distinguished reviewers, presenters, and all participants. We have the honor of welcoming today. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Chalita Naftali Graciana Ginting, and I will be facilitating this presentation session. In this session, we'll be hearing the research findings presented by Muhammad Izan Fahmi Alifia entitled Application of Euclidean Distance and Cosine Similarity in the Classification of the Indonesian Sign Language System. With that, let us not delay any further and proceed directly to the presentation. To the presenter, we invite you to please begin.
Testing. Hello and good morning to everyone, ladies and gentlemen, teachers, judges, friends, and students alike. My name is Muhammad Izan Fahmi Alifia, but you guys can call me Izan. And today I would like to bring a topic about the implementation of Euclidean distance and cosine similarity to classify hand gestures in the Indonesian Sign Language, known as CB. This presentation is about applying math concepts to efficiently interpret the CB gestures. Next slide. Introduction. Communication is a fundamental human right. Yet for the estimated 2.5 million deaf and hard of hearing individuals in Indonesia, everyday communication with hearing people remains a persistent challenge. The official sign language of Indonesia, Sistem Isyarat Bahasa Indonesia, was standardized by the government in 1994 and converts a complete alphabet as well as thousands of vocabulary signs. Despite its official status, proficiency in SIBI is largely confined to the deaf community and a small number of educators and interpreters. The wider hearing population has almost no exposure to SIBI, which makes the unaided, spontaneous communication between the two groups officially difficult. Next. Introduction. Technology has long been seen as a potential bridge for this gap. Automatic sign language recognition has attracted substantial research interest over the past 2 decades. Early systems relied on instrumental gloves or deaf cameras, which are expensive and impractical for everyday use. But more recently, the field has shifted towards vision-based approaches powered by convolutional neural networks and recurrent neural networks, sometimes combined in complex architecture and deep learning architects. While these deep learning systems have pushed recognition accuracy to impressive levels, they come with serious practical drawbacks. They need large data sets, long training times, and powerful hardware to run comfortably in real time. This effectively puts such solutions out of reach for individual developers, schools, or community organizations in resource-limited settings. However, Google's media pipe framework has made hand landmark detection accessible to ordinary developers without requiring any knowledge of deep learning. Given a video frame, MediaPipe's hand landmarker outputs the normalized X and Y coordinates of 21 key points of the hand, covering the wrist, knuckles, and fingertips. These coordinates represent a compact geometric description of the hand pose, and they naturally invite classical mathematic-based classification strategies. Now, I'd like to present that this paper investigates whether two elementary geometric similarity measures, Euclidean distance and cosine similarity, applied directly to these landmark vectors are sufficient enough to accurately classify the 26 hand shapes of the SIBI alphabet. The proposed system works by pre-recording a single reference pose for each gesture, storing as 21 by 2 matrix, and then comparing each live camera frame against all stored references. The gestures whose most accurate will be displayed. Next. Now, approaching this topic. Next. Next. First of all, my literary review. The communication gap faced by the deaf community. Deaf individuals in Indonesia still experience major communication barriers due to the difference between SIBI users and the hearing population. A study by Hernawati found that most hearing Indonesians, including family members of deaf children, do not receive formal SIBI education. As a result, communication often relies on informal gestures or written notes. This communication gap affects on their daily lives, such as education, employment, and healthcare. Next. The current machine learning trends and limitations. Most modern SLR systems use end-to-end deep learning approaches. A study from Kohler et al. Reported that CNN and LSTM models can achieve near-human accuracy. For Indonesian sign language, a study by Cheok et al. Achieved that 97.6% accuracy using CNN trained on 2,400 SIBI images. However, these models require long GPU train times, large model sizes, and high computational resources. This makes development difficult on low-end or portable devices. Although transfer learning reduces training costs, CNN inference still requires significantly more computation than a simple mathematical calculation. Next. The proposed solution is landmark-based methods. An alternative approach uses hand landmarks or skeletal representations instead of raw image pixels. Systems such as MediaPipe extract key points from the hand. Sarkar et al. Used the hand landmarks with K and N classifier and achieved a 96% accuracy for ASL letter recognition. The system was able to run in real time on a standard laptop. This shows that hand landmarks already contain enough information for static gesture recognition. Therefore, the main challenges become selecting an effective similarity measure rather than building deeper neural networks. Next. Now, here's the fun part. Euclidean distance and cosine similarity. Euclidean distance measures the straight line between 2 points in an n-dimensional space. In hand gesture recognition, it captures prepositional differences between hand joints. For cosine similarity, it measures the angle between the two vectors shown on the slide here. This makes cosine similarity less sensitive to scale variations. Both measures have been used individually for gesture recognition, but their combination has received less attraction in the sign language domain. A study by Mujahid et al. Used cosine similarity on pose vectors for yoga pose classification tasks and found it more robust to body size variation than raw distance measures. The present work applies a complementary idea to hand gesture by averaging cosine, by averaging the shape and the position of each landmark. Next. Methodology. So here, we have 21 landmarks in our hand. At first, we run our recording software to record and save our data, our landmarks as data, to then be used as a reference for later. How it's done is by letting MediaPipe mark points on our hands as landmarks and perform its own internal machine learning-based detection and tracking. Then we extract those landmarks as coordinates, but MediaPipe instead provides us with a coordinate that only spans from 0 to 1, 0, 0 being top left, and 1, 1 being bottom right. Because this technically is in percentage form, we must later multiply the coordinate given by MediaPipe with the camera screen resolution, the width and the height to get the position. Next. Now, the hand recorded and the hand that will be identified will always be in different position. Let's say you have a frame. When we record the frame with our hand, it could be here. But when we identify, it could be in center or in somewhere else, meaning that every coordinate will not be the same. To mitigate this, we use the normalization. Using the wrist as the starting point, we can calculate the coordinates of the other hand landmarks relative to the wrist, meaning that if we change our hand position, the coordinates will still be the same because it uses the wrist as an origin reference, 0, 0. They use the formula hand matrix of I is equal to hand landmark of I minus the hand matrix of 0, which is our wrist here. The distance of the hand to the camera is also challenging. It's also another problem to tackle. To handle this, we use a scalar normalization by measuring the distance of the palm reference, over the distance of the palm of the hand being identified. So we get the ratio to apply to the hand for it to then properly classify it. Now, we run the main program that classifies the live gestures, main.py. Main.py scans the stored reference, all of them, A to Z, and uses a classification logic by combining two geometric algorithms. The first is Euclidean distance, which measures a straight line, as I said before. It uses the formula of distance of P to Q is equal to root of the sum of n, root of I is equal to 1 to n of pi I minus qi squared, where P I minus qi squared, where P represents the live hand coordinates and Q represents the stored reference coordinates. The second algorithm is cosine similarity, which measures the cosine of the angle between two vectors. This approach is particularly effective in identifying gestures based on the orientation and the direction of the fingers. It uses the formula as expressed: cos of theta is A times B over the value of A and B, where A and B are the vectors formed by the hand landmarks. The final classification score is derived from the average of the Euclidean and cosine values. The gesture with the highest combined similarity score is automatically displayed as text on the screen, providing an instantaneous translation to the CB gestures. Next. Here is a program. Unfortunately, you may not see it clearly. Next. There's the second program, part of it, and next. Here are the results. For BCD, G, H, X, Y are significantly consistent with their findings, such as, actually next, but such as, this is the documentation, so example A, B, C, and D, next. But sometimes there are some issues that occurs, like A, M, N, and S. All of these have similar hand gestures. So for them, A, M, N, and S, due to the similar finger placement, which resulted in the landmark coordination overlapping each other. Thus, it fluctuates to determine which is the best letter to interpret the gesture. Next. Next. Now, there are some limitations. Because this program only captures a single frame, it cannot continuously capture the recorded frame, such as for Z and J. They are like this, and Z is like this, which involves movement, and it cannot correctly record those movements. But although it can still identify gestures by adjusting the original gesture and finding the perfect placement and orientation after going through the normalization process during the capturing image. Next. Now for the computational efficiency. The entire classification step involves simple arithmetic operations on small vectors. On a low-end to mid-range consumer laptop, AMD A9-9400 APU with no GPU, the classification adds negligible latency on top of media pipes and landmark detection. The system comfortably runs at the camera's native 30 FPS. By contrast, loading and running inference with a pre-trained CNN or transformer model on the same hardware typically reduces throughput significantly and may require PyTorch or TensorFlow with GPU support to achieve real-time performance. Studied by Kohler et al. Now the storage here, as we can see, is only less than 25 kilobytes for all of the alphabets A to Z stored. The entire 26 gesture alphabet, therefore, is under 25 kilobytes, compared to tens of hundreds or even thousands of megabytes for a trained neural network model. Next. Lastly, conclusion. This study demonstrated that the combination of Euclidean distance and cosine similarity with media pipe and hand landmarks can effectively classify most static CB hand gestures in real time. The system achieved stable performance for several gestures without requiring deep learning models or high computational resources. However, gestures with similar hand shapes such as M, N, S, or A often cause misclassification. But dynamic gestures such as J and Z could not be fully recognized due to the system's limitation of detecting motion. Overall, the proposed method shows potential as a lightweight and efficient alternative for CB hand gesture recognition. My suggestion for future research is to improve the recognition of dynamic gestures by incorporating motion tracking or sequence-based methods. Additionally, features such as joint angles or more reference samples may also help reduce errors among similar gestures. Furthermore, testing the system under different lighting conditions and camera positions is recommended to improve its reliability in real-world applications. Next. Here are my references I've used, and next. Thank you.
Thank you to Muhammad Izan Fahmi Alifia for the presentation that has been delivered in a clear and systematic manner. We will now move on into the discussion session. We invite the reviewers to raise any questions, responses, or critical assessments regarding the material that has just been presented. To open the discussion, we would like to give the floor to the first reviewer. Each reviewer will be given approximately 1 until 2 minutes, and the presenter is expected to respond in a manner that is concise, clear, and substantive. To Mr. Ainun, the floor is yours.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Very nice question, very nice presentation. Thank you so much. It's very interesting because you develop some tools to help the deaf people to communicate better to us. But my question is how it can be used by the deaf people. I mean, when if deaf people communicate with us with chatting or something that can be used, and I can see the model is left-handed or right-handed, right-handed, and maybe it can be improved to the left-handed people or something. So this is just my advice to the group. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay, very well. Thank you for the responses that have been given. This is certainly an important point that will deepen our discussion. We will invite the presenter to please provide a response.
Thank you, Mr. for the questions. For the first question, where it can be applied, is that firstly, I thought it would be applied in a video conference setting, like a Zoom, like we are having right now, or like a Google Meet, because sometimes there's no interpreters to be available on the Zoom meeting. Therefore, we can use our laptop as computational powers to classify and interpret the sign language performed by the deaf community for us to both communicate in an effective manner. And second, for the right and left hand, it is actually both compatible with left and right-handed. It's just that I use the right hand as reference because most CB gestures I see people use right hand as a standard CB gestures. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you for the response that have been given. Moving on to further enrich the perspective in this discussion, we would like to invite the next reviewer. To Mr. Professor Dr. Hasbi, please take the floor.
We'll start from your topic anyway. And actually, could you tell me what innovations belongs to this research proposal? I mean, research that you produce. This is the first thing we need to know, because in innovation. One of the things we have to consider about the complexity. Yeah, I was thinking the product that you made a little bit complex. Yeah. Could you tell something about the complexity, Ishan? Hello.
Can you please repeat it?
Can you hear me? Arun? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly now.
Yes, all right, sorry, yeah. Come on, Isan, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. for the question. The complexity of my innovation is I will achieve it to be quite simple to deploy the program in a large scale for all computers to be used by this program, meaning that everyone, regardless of economic or social status, given that they have a good enough computational resource, can and will be able to use this program. Thank you.
All right, then. Can I have one more question? Aaron? Yes, and another thing we need to know, what's actually the biggest problem that motivates you to participate in this international seminar research publication? Everybody needs to know this. Come on, Isan.
What innovation that motivates me?
Yeah.
Is that, well, it's not really a motivation thing, but I see that a lot of papers and people use deep learning techniques, which is not very resource friendly for people. That motivates me to find a more simple system that can be used by everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, well, again, yeah, I do proud of your research. I think that's enough from me, Harold, because the time is very limited for me. Yeah. Congratulations, Muhammad Isa.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the question and the responses that have been given. Moving on, to further enrich the perspective of this discussion, we would like to invite the next reviewer, which is Mr. Fishin. To Mr. Fishin, the floor is yours.
Hi, good day everyone. Are you able to hear me? All right.
Yes, we are able to hear you.
Okay, thank you. All right. By the way, that was a very insightful presentation. Okay, so congratulations on that. Okay, I would like to provide a constructive feedback regarding your slides. So if I view at your slides, it is actually congested with a lot of words. So I'm actually providing this as a constructive feedback to you so that in the future, probably you could reduce some of the words and you can probably elaborate them during your presentation. So that will actually reduce. Are you able to hear me?
I'm sorry, I was unable to hear you.
I can't hear you.
Okay, I can hear you clearly right now.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that probably during your presentation you can limit the number of words in your slides because I felt that the words were a lot and it is kind of congested in the slides. So that will actually force you to look at the slide and present. So if you reduce the number of words and you elaborate on your points, I think that would be better for your future presentation. Now, I would like to ask you on how many hand gestures did you record during this research?
How many alphabets I recorded?
I can't hear you, sorry.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me, mister?
Yeah.
So the question was how many hand gestures I recorded or I remember?
Yes.
Okay, so for the recorded template, each alphabet I recorded 20 seconds of time from A to Z, and with it sometimes it tracks differently, right? Through that tracking, it normalizes all of the value, all of the coordinates into a single file, which then can be easily referenced by the main program.
Okay, thank you for your answer. So that's all from me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the amazing feedback, question, and response. Moving on, we would like to invite the next reviewer, to Ms. Ekaterina. Please take the floor. Okay, we will move on to our next reviewer. That has been a very engaging discussion. However, given our time constraints, we will allow for the last reviewer. To Miss Julie, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on taking some very complex ideas and putting them to a use for social impact. And I'm very interested in how you brought together different fields. And I think that's where the future of research is, not ever in one field, but taking the ideas and tools and thinking from one place to another. I had two questions. One had to do with your motivation for choosing this topic and sticking with it. You have a lot of passion for it, and I wondered what the story was. And the second question I have is, are you interested in seeing this through? You had some very interesting ideas for what needed to happen next to make this actually work as well as possible. Is this something you're thinking that you will pursue in university?
Thank you, Ms. Julie, for the kind regards. For the first question, my motivation is derived from the concept of not discriminatory, but like secludedness of the deaf community with the wider non-deaf community, which that motivate me to want to include the deaf community to be able to engage and interact normally with other people. As for the second question, if I want to further engage with this topic, which to that I answer yes. I believe this innovation that I have proposed could be and should be useful for the wider deaf community of Indonesia. I hope in the future context that every human can and have the right to interact with each other effectively, and I hope to bridge the gap between the deaf and the able community. Thank you.
Excuse me, there is approximately 1 minute remaining.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Was my answer able to suffice, Ms. Julie? Okay, thank you.
Yes. Your answer was excellent. Thank you for that. I look forward to hearing more about how your progress comes along with this innovation.
Thank you, Ms. Julie.
We will give one more question to Bu Satya.
Terima kasih Muhammad Izan Fahmi Alifia. Yang lain bahasa Inggris, saya bahasa Indonesia aja ya. Terima kasih, ini judulnya menarik sekali karena membahas tentang bahasa isyarat ya. Bagaimana mengenali itu bahasa isyarat yang diterjemahkan dalam bentuk teks gitu. Ibu hanya ingin bertanya, ini kan ada proses pengenalan nih dari bahasa isyarat. Tadi mungkin sudah disampaikan oleh Pak Ainun, tadi menggunakan jari tangan kanan. Oke. Ketika sudah mendapatkan hasil ini tadi, ketika saya baca ada tingkat keakuratan yang berbeda dari masing-masing setiap huruf. Mas Izan, satu saja pertanyaan Ibu dan tidak sulit. Berapa kali Mas Izan mengambil sampling? Gitu. Apakah hanya dari satu tangan yang sama atau dari beberapa? Ini kan setiap tangan ini akan menghasilkan pola yang berbeda. Nanti kan diukur dengan equivalent distance dan seterusnya, threshold dan seterusnya. Nah, Ibu ingin tahu Mas Izan ini ngambil samplingnya ini untuk pengolahan di database pengolahan polanya itu sampai berapa kali sampling? Udah itu aja cukup. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Bu atas pertanyaannya. Pakai bahasa Indonesia, bahasa Inggris ini? Bahasa Indonesia and English, oke. Jadi untuk mendapatkan sampel ini, saya menggunakan tangan kanan saya sendiri, tidak ada tangan lain. Itu banyak data sampelnya, itu pada akhirnya akan menjadi satu file. Tetapi dalam teknik pengambilannya, dia tuh direkam selama 20 hingga 30 detik. Selama itu tangan kita bisa aja bergerak gitu kan. Nah, lalu dengan bergerak itu koordinatnya bakalan berubah, itu nggak akan tetap. Saya menggunakan sebuah rumus normalisasi agar mendapatkan kayak rata-ratanya semua titik-titik itu untuk teknik pengambilan sampelnya. Jadi untuk apakah bisa memakai tangan lain, saya belum mencoba testing itu. Namun dalam teori dan pikiran, sepertinya belum mampu mengenal tangan-tangan orang lain secara akurat. Bisa saja tangannya panjang sedikit, dan itu bakalan beda juga koordinasinya. Terima kasih. In English, for technique I use to gather the sample data, it'll all be output into one file. But during the process, it gathers all the coordinates within a 20 to 30 second time frame. Now, in 20 to 30 seconds, the hand will obviously be moved, and resulting that every coordination of the joints will always move accordingly. To mitigate this movement, we use a normalization technique to get the average coordinates of the hand gestures. But although different hands may be different value, in theory, for now, it cannot suffice with multiple other hands that have different lengths of fingers, etc. Thank you.
Excuse me, the time for this session has come to an end. Thank you to all the reviewers for the constructive feedback and to the presenter for the response that have been given. This discussion is hoped to enrich and refine the research findings that has been presented. With that, we hereby bring this presentation and discussion session to a close. We now hand things back over to the MC to guide the next agenda. Thank you.
Thank you to our first presenter for the wonderful presentation.
Before we move on to the next agenda, let's welcome the 7 schools that are with us today this morning via Zoom. First, let's give a warm welcome to SMA Negeri 2 PPU Kaltim, to SMA Negeri 7 Balikpapan, to SMA Negeri 5 PPU, to SMA Negeri 3 Tenggarong, kelima SMA IT Al-Hukman PPU, 6 Lukman Al-Hakim, and SMA Negeri 2 Balikpapan.
Thank you for joining us via Zoom, and we will now move into the next section, which is a potluck session. To ensure everything runs smoothly and orderly, each class will be given 3 minutes to collect their food one at a time. The order will begin with 10-1, followed by 10-2, and so on. We kindly ask for the cooperation of all participants to please be mindful of the allocated time so that today's event may continue to run smoothly.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Nurianti Aziza, biasa dipanggil Miss Anti. Selamat datang di SMA Nasional KPS, sekolah menengah atas yang terletak di Kota Balikpapan dengan visi unggul, rujukan, internasional, dan memiliki 9 program unggulan.
Halo semuanya. Kami dari tim peneliti SMA Nasional KPS Balikpapan. Saya Valerie.
Saya Bimo.
Saya Safira. Dan di sini kami mengikuti lomba Krenova 2025 dengan mengangkat judul penelitian Inovasi Lokal B100 dari Minyak Jelantah. Solusi.
chasing fire when I'm running after you. You, you got me something that I never wanna lose, lose. Yeah, it's like dancing when the song's already over. Moving without getting any closer.
Halo semuanya. Kami dari tim peneliti SMA Nasional KPS Balikpapan. Saya Valerie.
I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes. Listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. One minute I held the key, next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars of salt and pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field.
Halo semuanya. Kami dari tim peneliti SMA Nasional KPS Balikpapan. Saya Valerie.
Saya Bimo.
Saya Safira. Dan di sini kami mengikuti lomba Krenova 2025 dengan mengangkat judul penelitian Inovasi Lokal B100 dari
Hybrid retention adalah sistem bioretensi hibrida yang menggabungkan biopori dan sumur resapan dengan teknologi sensor water level berbasis IoT.
Nah, untuk cara kerja sendiri yaitu dibagi menjadi dua, yakni cara kerja hidrologi dan cara kerja sensor. Untuk cara kerja yang pertama yaitu cara kerja hidrologi. Air akan melewati strainer atau tutup dari biopori. Setelah melewati tutup dari biopori, air tersebut akan melewati sampah. Nah, saat melewati sampah ini akan terjadi yang namanya proses dekomposisi. Pada proses ini juga perlu diketahui bersama bahwa proses ini menyebabkan sampah organik menjadi pupuk organik. Setelah melewati sampah, air akan melewati bebatuan dan ijuk agar partikel-partikel kecil yang terbawa oleh air tidak ikut masuk ke sumur resapan. Nah, setelah dari bebatuan dan ijuk tadi kan masuk ke sumur resapan. Nah, saat di sumur resapan itu dibagi menjadi dua. Air bisa keluar dari sumur resapan dan menyebar ke seluruh tanah, atau air juga bisa menjadi cadangan air tanah di dalam sumur resapan. Oke, untuk cara kedua yaitu cara kerja sensor. Pertama-tama, ketika prop stainless steel terkena air, prop stainless steel ini akan mengirimkan sinyal. Nah, mengirimkan sinyal ini kemana? Nah, prop stainless steel ini akan mengirimkan sinyal ke ESP8266. Dari ESP8266, ketika ESP8266 menerima sinyal tersebut akan dikirimkan menjadi sebuah data kepada cloud blink. Dari cloud blink inilah kita dapat menerima informasi melalui smartphone kita. Di saat yang bersamaan pula, si ESP266 ini ternyata dia juga memberikan ke sensor lampu.
Let us now move on to our next presenter, Rachel Ladihak Yahyono, presenting her paper titled Utilization of Plastic Waste as a Concrete Mixture Component for a Room Partition. This presentation will be moderated by Kalista Feodora Kurniawan, with a Cleo Nauliputri Simatupang as the minute taker. Let us give a warm round of applause for Rachel and her team.
Good morning, distinguished reviewers, presenters, and all participants. We have the honor of welcoming today. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Kalista Fyodora Kurniawan, and I will be facilitating this presentation session. In this session, we will be hearing the research findings presented by Rachel Ladihakwe Yahyono, entitled Utilization of Plastic Waste as a Concrete Mixture Component for Wall Partitions. With that, let us not delay any further and proceed directly to the presentation. To the presenter, we invite you to please begin.
Good morning, everyone, teachers, friends, and reviewers. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rachel Ladihakehirno, or you can call me Rachel for short. First of all, I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity and time to speak here and talk about my research on the utilization of plastic waste as a concrete mixture component for partition walls. Next. So I'm going to give a little bit of a background on my research. Plastic waste is one of the main problems in Indonesia. Indonesia produces around 64 million tons of waste each year, according to the Ministry of Environment and Forestry. Now, more than 60% of the total volume of trash that's being produced comes from households, that consists of plastic waste or organic waste. And sadly, the data also shows that only 10 to 15% of waste is recycled. The rest ends up being in landfills. Now, Derajat Trikartono once said that this improper waste disposal habit is caused by a lack of individual responsibility. A lot of people feel like that their waste or their trash is not their responsibility, as if someone else will take care of it, because there is a job for people to take care of it, but still, it's best that to think of that our trash is our own responsibility. And the best way to solve this problem is actually by using the 3R method, which is reduce, reuse, and recycle. But on this research, I'm going to be focusing on the recycle part. Also, I want to add that poor waste management causes negative impacts both on the environment and the health of living beings. For example, like waste that's blocking the waterways, it can cause floods, which damage facilities and also harm people. Or soils and the sea, when it gets polluted with trash, it can damage the environment and also damage the sustainability of natural resources. Next. So we have one problem aside. Now we have another problem, which is in the construction industry. One of the sectors that uses the most material is the construction industry. For example, like concrete. Even this building uses concrete. And I'm sure a lot of other buildings like schools, house, hospitals use concrete. And one of the prime materials to make concrete is by using sand and gravel, which functions as a natural aggregate. Now, excessive exploitation of aggregates can lead to the depletion of natural resources and environmental degradation. So we need to find how to effectively use sand and gravel so we don't waste or we don't damage the environment. Now, so we have two problems here, plastic waste and excessive use of aggregates. What we can do is actually we can combine these two problems to make one solution, which is to make environmentally friendly concrete by making use of the plastic and turning it into aggregate. Next. So for the methodology of this research, I used research and development at the conceptual stage with a quantitative approach through literature study. This method is carried out by analyzing data that has been collected from previous studies related to the topic of eco-friendly concrete. So here are the results. I made it into a couple of points. So the first one is plastic waste can be utilized as a partial substitute for fine or coarse aggregates in concrete production. So why only partially and not fully as a substitute? I will get to that later. But for now, I'll just move on to the second point, which is the incorporation of recycled plastic into concrete mixtures can reduce the overall density of concrete, resulting in lightweight concrete materials. The third point is plastic waste demonstrate considerable potential for particularly for non-structural applications because several studies revealed that concrete containing plastic waste generally experiences a decrease in compressive strength compared to conventional concrete. Now back to point number one, I explained that plastic waste can be utilized as a partial substitute. It's because there's a research that the more plastic you add into the concrete mixture, it can actually becomes weaker. But it doesn't mean that it's completely useless because the use of recycled plastic still contributes to reducing the consumption of natural aggregate materials such as sand and gravel. So knowing that lightweight concrete does not function well as a primary load-bearing component, I've had this idea to turn them into partition walls or the blocks to make a partition wall, which is called a roster. Now, I'm also going to give a little bit of a reason why plastic waste turns concrete weaker. It's because plastic particles generally have lower adhesion capability with cement paste than natural aggregates because plastic has a smooth surface, so it cannot really grip onto the cement paste, different with natural aggregates like sand and gravel. So here are some of the designs that I made with an app called Shaper 3D. I just drew it on my iPad, and as you can see here, those blocks are called rosters. And if you stack them up, they can turn into partition walls. And these are commonly used in modern architecture to make the room less claustrophobic. Well, by separating rooms, but making them less claustrophobic, and also it gives a nice aesthetic to them. Despite the limitations, plastic-based concrete remains feasible for non-structural application. These designs illustrate how recycled plastic concrete may be integrated into modern architectural concepts while maintaining functionality and sustainability. So in conclusion, based on the literature review conducted in the study, plastic waste demonstrates significant potential in alternative component in eco-friendly concrete mixtures for non-structural applications, particularly partition walls. Although the addition of plastic waste may decrease in compressive strength of concrete, the resulting material remains suitable for non-load bearing structures like building foundations, for example, or like this building, for example. Therefore, the utilization of plastic waste as concrete mixture component may become a promising innovation for sustainable construction development in the future. And some of the recommendations I have here is I should have done an experimental laboratory testing, but because I had limited time to finish this article, I wasn't able to do it. But if I did, I would have known what was the optimal composition of plastic waste, and I would have known, if I were to make this in a bigger scale, I would have known the production cost, the sizes, the material efficiency. And again, if I were to make this into an actual product in a larger scale, I would need government support and also public awareness. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you to the Rachel Adihakwe Yahyono for the presentation that has been delivered in a clear and systematic manner. We will now move into the discussion session. We invite the reviewers to raise any question, response, and critical assessments regarding the materials that has just been presented. To open the discussion, we would like to give the floor to the first reviewer. Each reviewer will be given approximately 1 until 2 minutes, and the presenter is expected to respond in a manner that is concise, clear, and substantive. To Mr. Aidun, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you. Rahel, congratulations for your achievement. This is a big milestone for you, I think, to have the opportunity to have some experimental in materials, because I came from ITK and I'm a materials engineer. So this is interesting for me. And in the conclusion, you say this is the application is for non-load bearing structures, but you mentioned about the application is for only partition walls. So I have advice to maybe elaborate more to have some specific, more specific specification, like if only partition can be it absorb some sounds to be a sounds barrier or something, and then maybe some a light barrier or something. That's very interesting. And I have one question. Do you can elaborate more for what kind of type of plastic? Because we know the plastic waste is contain so many type of plastic, like a PET, PP, and so on. So, what kind of plastic do you use? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ainun, for the review and for the question. First of all, I think you mentioned about partition walls as soundproof. I'm not really sure if I can use this for soundproof uh, functions because it has holes in it. Because the designs that I made, it has holes in it, so it's not really great for soundproofing. But the cement mixture itself, when it's combined with plastic aggregates, it can actually, it doesn't have to be partition walls. This is the research that I did. It's just specifically for partition walls, but it can also be made for, like, for example, we have a lot of cafes here in Balikpapan, and we can actually make them into little chairs or little tables. We can apply that too. And for what kind of plastic? In the experiments from the articles that I've read, they used bottles, so basically like PET plastic, because that's quite common here. So that's what I use.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the question that has been raised. It is a certainly important point that will depend our discussion. We now invite the second reviewer, Mr. Vincent.
Hello. Yes, we can hear you. Yes, so. Okay. Rachel, are you there, Rachel? Just to
Yes.
ensure that you will be able to understand my question. There is no response.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
All right. Thank you. First thing first, I thought that it was really a thought-provoking presentation. Even without referring to your slides, I am actually able to comprehend about your research topic. So that shows that you have really presented very well. Okay. Now, my question is that how sure are you that these concrete walls are strong enough? Because even though you are using it as a partition, you need to ensure the strength and durability. So as you said that you have referred to the past researchers, is there any standards being made when they actually construct this concrete wall using the plastic waste? So do you have any backups or any research findings indicating that these concrete walls are strong enough, or there are certain levels or criteria met? Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the question. So basically, from the literature or the journal that I read, they did test it. They made it and they tested and they test the pressure, so to see how strong it was and when, like, the amount of pressure they give, like at what point will they break. So they did actually test it, and from the results of that from that literature, from that article, is that it's not capable for making like building foundations and stuff, but it's still possible to make less heavy projects like partition walls.
Okay, thank you. Good job, Rachel.
Thank you for the question that has been raised. We would like to invite the reviewer, Professor Dr. Hasbi. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much. Can you hear me, Rachel?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, again, congratulations. Your research topic is very interesting and truly represents innovation. And then a relevant and meaningful topic, then address environmental sustainable group. One thing we need to, because you mentioned that your study is a kind of research and development or R&D. Could you tell me what kind of R&D method, model you use in this study?
Excuse me, sir. Can I just ask? You were asking about what R&D was I using?
Yes, yeah. Because you used the R&D method in this study, so we need to know what kind of research and development that you use. We know a lot. There are many kinds of R&D actually. Which one you use then?
So I used it at the conceptual stage. I wasn't able to actually make the product, but I was able to design it. So I just made the concept, basically. I just developed the concept of partition walls and roster.
Okay, you can just use the concept. You didn't choose a kind of R&D code and rail or let's say IPA. No, not at all.
No.
No. Okay. Well then, this is my suggestion because this study belongs to sustainable development goal. So I suggest you put the 17 sustainable goals in your let's say introduction for the next research. What do you think? Hello, Rachel?
Yes,
Can you
sir.
hear me?
At the last bit, I wasn't able to hear you. I'm sorry, sir.
No, okay, yeah, I'm really sorry. In your introduction, I think you should put the information from 17 sustainable goals. Yeah, 17 sustainable development goals in your introduction because this study is very related to sustainable environment. Yeah, this is my suggestion. And another thing, probably you need put some more reference, yeah, the recent reference into supporting the study. Congratulations again, Rachel.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Back to you, Arlo. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Professor Dr. Hasbi, for the response that has been given. Moving on to the further enrich the perspective in this discussion, we would like to invite Miss Julie. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Rachel. It was very interesting because it takes a problem which I think the whole world is facing right now and tries to come up with some solutions. And I admire that, and I encourage you to be always thinking in the way that we've created these problems of, as you said, damage to the environment and damage to living beings. I had a couple of questions. One was, there's a lot of controversy in the field of plastics and composites right now. In fact, even though there's a lot of promise about using the existing waste that's already been produced, there's a lot of controversy because people think maybe if you come up with a good way to use the waste, it will just encourage people to make more waste. What do you think about that? And how do you think we can be working on the problem of productive uses of the waste plastic while also reducing the use and manufacture of plastic in the first place?
Thank you, Miss, for the question. So as I explained earlier, one of the three of the effective methods to solve this problem, this waste problem, is by using the 3R method, which is reduce, reuse, and recycle. For the reusing bit, I think it's best to do a socialization for the people, for the groups of people, like in Indonesia, like give education to them so they know how to manage trash well, and also set up strict rules for waste management. And for the recycling bit, how sure am I? Personally, because I haven't done the experiment myself, I was dependent on the literature before. I couldn't really confirm that. So that's from me.
Thank you for your response. And what I would just say is that your response indicates what I think the issue is. As you move forward with the science, you also have to move forward with the social impact and the education. And so I would just recommend to you as you go on, I don't know if you're thinking of pursuing this further or if you're planning to go into a scientific field, but just to remember that in order to actually solve the problems, we need to think about all the systems that are involved in the problem and think about how we need to bring together education and behavior as well as science. So thank you again for your thinking, and thank you for taking on such an important intersection of problems that is encapsulated by plastics.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you for the question and the response that has been given. That has been a very engaging discussion. However, given our time constraints, we will allow for one final question for ladies and gentlemen who are here. If there is none, thank you for the reviewer for the constructive feedback and to the presenters for the response. This discussion is hoped to enrich and refine the research findings that have been presented. With that, we hereby bring this presentation and discussion session to a close. We now hand things back over to the MC to guide the next agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel, for your terrific presentation.
Before we move on to the next agenda, let us welcome one more school that is here with us this morning. SMA Nusantara Balikpapan. Welcome to the seminar.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will now take a short break for 15 minutes. We kindly ask all participants to please return on time, as the seminar will continue with the next presentation session.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Nuryanti Aziza, biasa dipanggil Miss Anti. Selamat datang di SMA Nasional KPS, sekolah menengah atas yang terletak di Kota Balikpapan dengan visi unggul, rujukan, internasional, dan memiliki 9 program unggulan.
Halo semuanya. Kami dari tim peneliti SMA Nasional KPS Balikpapan. Saya Valerie.
Saya Bimo.
Halo semuanya. Kami dari tim peneliti SMA Nasional KPS Balikpapan, saya Valerie,
Saya Bimo.
saya Safira, dan di sini kami mengikuti lomba Krenova 2025 dengan mengangkat judul penelitian Inovasi Lokal B100 dari Minyak Jelantah, Solusi Green Economy untuk Kemandirian Energi Berkelanjutan di Balikpapan.
Selamat menyaksikan eksperimen kami.
Inovasi yang kami kembangkan adalah B100, biodiesel murni yang kami olah langsung dari minyak jelantah bekas. Yap, minyak yang biasanya dibuang, kami ubah menjadi energi yang ramah lingkungan. Metode yang kami gunakan adalah metode distilasi dengan minyak jelantah sebagai bahan bakunya. Kami mencampurkan NaOH sebagai katalis dengan alkohol hingga membentuk metoksida. Metoksida ini kemudian dicampurkan dengan minyak jelantah dan diproses melalui distilasi, yaitu pemisahan campuran berdasarkan perbedaan titik didih dan tekanan uap. Hasilnya terbentuk dua fase, gliserol dan asam lemak metil ester. Setelah melalui tahap pencucian dan pengeringan, jadilah biodiesel murni atau B100. Tapi kenapa sih kami memilih B100 sebagai inovasi?
Minyak jelantah menjadi perhatian serius di Balikpapan karena memicu kesehatan dan bahkan lingkungan. Jika dibuang sembarangan, minyak jelantah bisa menyumbat saluran drainase, meningkatkan resiko banjir, serta merusak kesuburan tanah. Lebih parahnya lagi, pemanasan minyak berulang kali dapat memutus ikatan strukturnya, menghasilkan senyawa berbahaya yang dapat memicu penyakit degeneratif seperti gangguan jantung, pembuluh darah, hati, hingga kanker.
Kebutuhan bahan bakar terus meningkat, terutama di sektor transportasi. Tapi sayangnya, cadangan fosil semakin menipis dan dampaknya serius. Mulai dari polusi udara hingga emisi gas rumah kaca. Apalagi sekarang, marak kasus pengoplosan bensin di Indonesia, yang bikin kualitas bahan bakar jadi nggak aman. Biodiesel jadi alternatif yang lebih ramah lingkungan dan berkelanjutan, terutama kalau dibuat dari limbah minyak jelantah. Selain membantu kurangi limbah, minyak jelantah juga jauh lebih murah dibanding minyak nabati murni, sehingga bisa tekan biaya produksi hingga 70%. Tentunya, penelitian kami nggak cuma soal inovasi, tapi juga punya manfaat dan tujuan yang luar biasa. Nah, berikut ini penjelasannya.
Kenapa tujuan penelitian kami adalah mengolah minyak jelantah menjadi biodiesel sebagai sumber energi alternatif yang lebih ramah lingkungan dan mengidentifikasi manfaat ekonomi dari pemanfaatan biodiesel dalam konteks ekonomi hijau yang inklusif dan berkelanjutan.
Adapun manfaat yang kami dapat, yaitu dengan menyediakan sumber energi alternatif yang lebih ramah lingkungan. Yang kedua ada mendorong penerapan teknologi ramah lingkungan. Yang ketiga ada pemberdayaan ekonomi lokal. Keempat ada mengurangi pencemaran lingkungan melalui pemanfaatan minyak jelantah sebagai biodiesel. Dan yang terakhir adalah mendukung green economy.
Inovasi kami mempunyai potensi besar untuk dikembangkan. Kalau kalian pikir prosesnya rumit, justru sebaliknya. Biodiesel ini bisa dibuat secara sederhana, cukup panaskan minyak jelantah, tambahkan metoksida, diamkan hingga mengendap, lalu saring. Siapapun bisa melakukannya. Dengan sumber daya yang melimpah dan biaya produksi yang terjangkau, biodiesel bisa dijual sekitar 12.500 per liter, sangat cocok untuk sektor industri, terutama manufaktur dan transportasi. Keunggulannya, tentunya lebih aman, ramah lingkungan, efisien, dan bisa langsung dicampur dengan solar tanpa modifikasi mesin. Ini membuktikan bahwa B100 mempunyai potensi besar untuk dikembangkan lebih luas.
Dari permasalahan lingkungan hingga krisis energi, kami mencoba menghadirkan solusi lewat inovasi B100. Biodiesel dari minyak jelantah bukan hanya ramah lingkungan, tapi juga ekonomis dan berkelanjutan. Kami berharap inovasi ini bisa dikembangkan lebih luas, khususnya di Balikpapan, untuk mendukung kemandirian energi dan mendorong lahirnya lebih banyak inovasi hijau. Karena perubahan besar selalu dimulai dari langkah sederhana.
Kami dari tim peneliti SMA Nasional KPS. Saya Safira.
Saya Bimo.
Saya Valerie.
Chemistry Country 1,
2, 3.
Chemistry. Sampai jumpa di final Krenova 2025.
Hybrid retention adalah sistem bioretensi hibrida yang menggabungkan biopori dan sumur resapan dengan teknologi sensor water level berbasis IoT.
Nah, untuk cara kerja sendiri yaitu dibagi menjadi dua, yakni cara kerja hidrologi dan cara kerja sensor. Untuk cara kerja yang pertama yaitu cara kerja hidrologi. Air akan melewati strainer atau tutup dari biopori. Setelah melewati tutup dari biopori, air tersebut akan melewati sampah. Nah, saat melewati sampah ini akan terjadi yang namanya proses dekomposisi. Pada proses ini juga perlu diketahui bersama bahwa proses ini menyebabkan sampah organik menjadi pupuk organik. Setelah melewati sampah, air akan melewati bebatuan dan ijuk agar partikel-partikel kecil yang terbawa oleh air tidak ikut masuk ke sumur resapan. Nah, setelah dari bebatuan dan ijuk tadi kan masuk ke sumur resapan. Nah, saat di sumur resapan itu dibagi menjadi dua. Air bisa keluar dari sumur resapan dan menyebar ke seluruh tanah, atau air juga bisa menjadi cadangan air tanah di dalam sumur resapan. Oke, untuk cara kedua yaitu cara kerja sensor. Pertama-tama, ketika prop stainless steel terkena air, prop stainless steel ini akan mengirimkan sinyal. Nah, mengirimkan sinyal ini kemana? Nah, prop stainless steel ini akan mengirimkan sinyal ke ESP8266. Dari ESP8266, ketika ESP8266 menerima sinyal tersebut akan dikirimkan menjadi sebuah data kepada cloud link. Dari cloud link inilah kita dapat menerima informasi melalui smartphone kita. Di saat yang bersamaan pula, si ESP266 ini ternyata dia juga memberikan ke sensor lampu, sehingga di sensor lampu tersebut nyala lampu. Sebagai berikut. Yang pertama, lampu putih artinya kosong atau tidak ada air. Lampu hijau artinya ada sedikit air. Kemudian lampu biru artinya sedang. Lampu kuning artinya sudah tinggi. Dan yang terakhir lampu merah. Nah, ketika lampu merah ini menyala akan ada buzzer juga yang menyala. Nah, ini menandakan air itu sudah limpas atau sudah melewati dari biopori.
Udah. Bunyi ya Pak? Siap bunyi. Izin.
Wih, rekam.
Halo semuanya. Kami dari tim peneliti SMA Nasional KPS Balikpapan. Saya
Yeah, there's no good way. I'm chasing fire when I'm running after you. You. You got me something that I never wanna lose. Lose. Yeah. It's like dancing when the song's already over. Moving without getting any closer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the break has now come to an end. Let us continue our international seminar with a renewed energy and full enthusiasm.
We would like to invite our final presenters, Valerie Angelica Tang, Ruth Kaila Natania Wijaya, and Nafil Gifar, presenting their papers, titled Brilliant, an innovative eco-friendly energy briquette based on waste cooked rice with live fruit, Durio cutejensis, as a natural binder. This presentation will be moderated by Sharon Hannah Madeline Ponto with Zafira Hamida Sofian as the minute taker. Let us give a warm round of applause for Valerie and her team.
Good morning, distinguished reviewers, presenters, and all participants we have the honor of welcoming today. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sharon Hannah Madeline Ponto, and I will be facilitating this presentation session. In this session, we'll be hearing research findings presented by Valeria Angelica Tang, Ruth Kaila Natania Wijaya, and Nafil Gifar, entitled Brilliant, an innovative eco-friendly energy briquette based on waste-cooked rice with live food. Durio cutejensis is a natural binder. With that, let us not delay any further and proceed directly to the presentation. To the presenters, we invite you to please begin.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to everyone who's attending this year's international seminar, whether you're from inside of the country of Indonesia or outside and attending this event through Zoom. We would like to say our thanks to the teachers who have given us this opportunity to present our papers, and to the judges who made time in their day for us. Today, we would like to present our research titled Brilliant, Eco-Friendly Bioenergy Briquette. Innovation from rice waste using Durio cutejensis live food as a natural adhesive. Next. Problem statement. Households generate a significant amount of organic waste, particularly leftover rice, which requires careful management. Without proper utilization, this rice waste is often discarded, contributing to environmental pollution. By employing Durio cutejensis fruit as a natural adhesive, such waste can be converted into an environmentally friendly and renewable alternative energy source. Next. Research problems. We have three research problems. The first one is, can leftover rice be directly utilized as a raw material for briquette production? The second one, how effective is Durio cutejensis fruit as a natural adhesive in process of producing briquettes from leftover rice. The last one is what are the physical characteristic and combustion performance of briquettes made from a combination of leftover rice and Duryokutajensis fruit as adhesive. Our research objectives are divided into three too. The first one, to develop and test briquettes made from leftover rice as a sustainable alternative solid fuel. The second one is to assess the performance of Duryokutajensis fruit as a natural adhesive in improving briquette quality. And the last one, to examine the physical properties and the combustion behavior of the briquettes using simple testing methods. Research significance. There's two research significance, the theoretical benefits and the practical benefits. The theoretical benefits provides a practical example of converting leftover rice into high-value briquette, demonstrating direct application of organic waste utilization, and offers data on the effectiveness of Duryokutajensis fruit as a natural adhesive in bio-briquette production. As for the practical benefits, it served as a reference for similar research in the development of biomass briquettes using organic waste and locally available waste adhesive. The second one is to provide the use of Duryokutajensis fruit as a natural adhesive for alternative energy sources. And the last one is to present a simple and low-cost technology for producing clean energy from readily available materials.
These are two key visual tools that summarize the foundation of our study. The fishbone diagram illustrates the previous studies that influenced our research. The conceptual framework shows the logical flow of our study, starting from the research problem, leading to the proposed solution, and ending with the expected outcomes. In this research, we propose three hypotheses. First, leftover rice can be utilized as the raw material for briquettes due to its high carbon content and starch composition. Second, the natural adhesive from Duryokutajensis fruit can effectively enhance the durability of the briquette without needing an additional chemical binders. And third, a combination of leftover rice and Duryokutajensis fruit as the natural adhesive produce briquettes with favorable physical properties and combustion performance, which is why our briquettes is suitable as an eco-friendly fuel. We employed a mixed methods approach, combining both experimental and analytical techniques. This allowed us not only to produce the briquettes, but also to analyze their physical properties and combustion performance systematically. This experiment was carried out at SMA Nasional KPS and was conducted in October 2025.
This is the step-by-step on the process of making briquette. The first one is we prepare the leftover rice, and then we dry the rice for 2 to 3 days. After that, we grind the dried rice. After we grind the dried rice, we prepare the live fruit to make the natural adhesive. We blend and cook it with tapioca flour. We combine the rice powder with the live fruit adhesive. Mix thoroughly until a homogeneous mixture is obtained. Mold the mixture into briquette shapes, and then we test the briquettes.
Here are the results of our briquette test. On the left, you can see the briquette while burning, showing a stable flame. On the right is the briquette after burning, which remains solid with only a slight surface changes. Based on our testing, this briquette showed a good combustion performances. They burned for around 9 minutes with a stable yellow to orange flame, and they were not easily extinguished. These yellow to orange flames indicate a relatively stable combustions with a lower carbon emissions. These briquettes also had a hard and dense texture and with a slight crack after we did the drop test. This research involves two main chemical steps. The first step is dehydration. Here, the H2O in the starch molecules is removed. This reduces moisture content, making the rice easier to ignite, while also keeping the starch structure intact. Chemically, it can be represented as C6H10O5 polymer N goes to the C6H10O5 polymer N plus H2O. The second step is carbonization. When the dehydrated rice is heated, the starch breaks down into car and gases like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, methane, as well as tar. The car allows the briquette to burn steadily, and the gases help with ignition. In conclusion, these briquettes, leftover rice, can be used as an eco-friendly briquette material. With Duryokutajensis fruits as the natural adhesive, this briquette showed good durability and stable combustions with a lower carbon emissions. These innovations also helps reduce household waste and supports clean energy development. That's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you for Valerie Angelica Tang, Ruth Kayla, Nathania Wijaya, and Nafil Kifar for the presentation that has been delivered in a clear and systematic manner. We will now move on to the discussion session, and we invite the reviewers to raise any questions, responses, or critical assessments regarding the material that has just been presented. Each reviewer will be given approximately 1 to 2 minutes, and the presenter is expected to respond in a manner that is concise, clear, and substantive. To open the discussion, we would like to give the floor to the first reviewer, Mr. Ainun.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. First, I will ask about the procedures. In the article, you say number 3, the carbonized material was ground into fine powder. So, after you have rice waste, you make it into the carbon first, or like in the picture, you add some lay fruit first before carbonization.
Thank you for the question that has been raised. We now invite the presenters to please provide a response.
I'm sorry, sir, we can't hear the question properly. Can you repeat the question?
Okay. In the procedure, you write two kind of procedure, like 1 until 8 procedures. In the procedures 3, you say after you have a rice, you make a carbonized fine powder from the rice, then mix with the lye fruit. But in the picture, you mix the rice and the lye first before make it into the briquette. So which one is true? I mean, I just want to confirm it first.
So to confirm, we grind the rice first, and then we prepare the live fruit. We blend the live fruit and cook it with tapioca flour. After that, we mix it with the rice powder and the live fruit adhesive.
Okay, so you have a rice and lye mixed together before you make it into the briquette, right? Into the carbonization.
Yes.
Okay. So, do you have some reason why you mix with lye? I mean, mix with lye before carbonization and after carbonization. Why you choose that method? why you choose mix with the lye in the rice form, not after carbonization? Can I make? Can I have bahasa? As in bahasa Indonesia, it's okay. Oke. Kenapa kok ini dicampurkan setelah dituliskan setelah karbonisasi, tapi akhirnya kan dicampurkan sebelum karbonisasi? Tadi dicampurkan lye sebelum karbonisasi gitu kan? Kenapa kok memilih metode itu padahal lye ini adalah sebagai adhesif?
I will answer it in Indonesian if you may.
Okay.
Saya izin jawab. Sebelumnya kita nggak ada tulis di presentasi di slide bahwa kita membuat lainnya, kita masukin lainnya itu sebelum efek karbonisasi. Jadi efek karbonisasinya itu baru muncul ketika buah lye itu sudah dihaluskan dan dicampur dengan bubuk nasi. Baru setelah itu, setelah jadi briket, baru efek karbonisasinya akan muncul. Seperti itu.
Oke, baik. Kenapa kok memilih lye sebagai adhesif, natural adhesive? Because lye is a delicious food, right? And it's not contrary with food consumption. I mean, it's a waste or something like unused food. Thank you.
We choose lye or Durio cutejensis fruit because first, this is locally available in Kalimantan, and this fruit contains a sticky natural compounds that can function as a natural adhesive for the briquettes.
Okay, thank you so much. Congratulations for your good answer.
Thank you for the questions and the responses that has been given. Moving on, we would like to invite the next reviewer, Mr. Professor Dr. Hasbi. The floor is yours. To Mr. Professor Dr. Hasbi, you may give us any questions or input. It seems Mr. Professor Dr. Hasbi isn't present. We may now move on to the next reviewer, Mr. Vision. To Mr. Vision, the floor is yours. Sorry, Mr. Vision, but we cannot hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, we can hear you clearly. We can hear you clearly, Mr. Vision.
Congratulations to the presenters because from what I have listened to you, from what I can see based on your answers provided just now, it seems that you have good knowledge about your research topics. But I'm just curious whether you have integrated any theories while creating this innovation.
I'm sorry, sir, can you repeat the last question?
Okay, I would like to know whether you have integrated any theories while coming up with this innovation. that clear? Did you get my question?
Sorry, yes. Luckily, we don't have any problems with the experiment because we have amazing teachers who helped us along the way.
So what I meant by, did you refer to any theories while coming up with this innovation, or it just appeared, or you constructed the innovation by yourself?
Mr. I will answer. We are not integrated to any theories in making this research. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you for the responses that have been given. Moving on, we'd like to give the floor to the next reviewer, Miss Ekaterina. So, Miss Ekaterina, the floor is yours. Moving on, we'd like to give the floor to Miss Julie.
Congratulations to the team, and thank you for your presentation. And I want to commend you on your slides. They were very, very clear and a nice balance of visuals and words. So I just want to mention that that was very nice. I had two questions. One is, you said that you gave the description of how the briquettes acted, and I wondered how close that was to what you would optimally like for a briquette. Like you described it, but you didn't say, well, it would have been better if it had burned at this temperature or with this color. Was it just perfect, just right off the bat, or is there something that you think you need to do to make it optimal?
Thank you for the question and input, Ms. Ekaterina. We now invite the presenters to please provide a response.
Thank you for the question, Miss, but can you repeat only the questions for us?
The question was, you described how the briquette behaved, but you didn't say that whether it was optimal, whether it needed to be performing better than it did in order for this innovation to be expanded.
First of all, we don't have any room temperature to make specific room temperature to make the briquettes optimal, because a regular room temperature itself is already optimal to make the briquettes.
Okay, but in terms of how it burned, briquettes are made of all kinds of different materials. So some of them burn hotter or longer. So why did you think this one was burning at the right amount of temperature and length?
We haven't tested again, but based on our first testimonies from the first we made the briquettes, this briquette lasts for around 9 minutes in a regular room temperature. They burn for 9 minutes.
And what I was just asking is, if you test other materials, would they burn more or less? It sounds like you just did the one experiment with the amount of the mix that you came up with. And that was my second question. How did you come up with the idea of using the live fruit as the adhesive?
If we use other material than the durian kudagensis fruit or the rice itself, it will not make any difference for the burning time. We come up with the Durian cutagensis fruit as the adhesive, like I said before, because it was a local fruit and we can find it a lot in here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your questions.
Thank you for the responses that has been given. Moving on, we would like to invite the guests to give us any input or questions. Yes, to Miss Roro, you may, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Izin ini kelompoknya Valeri tadi ya. Tadi kan itu mencampurkan nasi, ya, sisa nasi dengan helai, ya. Yang ingin ibu tanyakan, tapi sebelumnya selamat dulu ya. Ini judulnya sungguh menginspiratif, nanti bisa dikembangkan lagi ketika di perguruan tinggi. Yang ingin ibu tanyakan adalah yang membuat ibu penasaran, kenapa kok menggunakan buah helai yang pertama. Kemudian sebetulnya tanpa menggunakan buah helai itu sebetulnya sudah bisa, tadi kalau saya ngobrol dengan Pak Ainun gitu ya. Ya, sebenarnya tanpa helai pun sudah bisa. Nanti bagaimana dengan nilai ekonomisnya, otomatis akan ada cost yang lebih mahal ketika harus dicampurkan dengan buah helai. Kemudian yang kedua, dari helai itu yang dipergunakan apakah itu buahnya atau waste-nya atau sisa yang sudah kita makan atau bagaimana, itu aja yang ingin ibu ketahui gitu ya. Karena sejujurnya kan dari nasi itu dia udah punya sifat adhesif yang lengket kan, seperti itu aja. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Ibu pertanyaannya, saya izin jawab. Jadi kami menambahkan buah helai dalam briket ini biar ada unsur lokalnya dalam briket kami. Jadi tidak hanya kandungan nasi saja. Lalu kenapa kami menggunakan buah helai? Karena buah helai ini banyak ditemukan di daerah Kalimantan. Selain menggunakan buah helai, kita juga bisa menggunakan alternatif buah durian karena memiliki bahan dasar yang sama dengan buah helai. Selain itu, buah helai yang kami pakai juga adalah bagian dari buah lainnya, bukan bijinya. Namun bagian buah helai yang kita gunakan adalah bagian buah yang sudah tidak layak konsumsi atau yang sudah busuk atau tidak bisa dimakan. Jadi kita tidak menggunakan buah helai yang masih bagus dan layak dimakan sebagai bahan dasar dari briket kami sendiri. Terima kasih Ibu.
Very well, thank you for the responses. Due to our
Boleh
time
izin, boleh sedikit aja. Nah,
sure.
Nggak apa-apa, berarti nanti di makalahnya bisa ditambahkan buah lainnya yang seperti apa gitu ya. Jadi nanti dibandingkan ketika kalian membuat briket tadi dengan nasi, berbahan nasi saja, sampah nasi,
research, and then somebody will support you or facilitate your research. What do you suggest? What do you need the support from others to make it better?
That's the question. Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. First of all, we would be thankful if in the future this research, someone would help us to advance this research. And what we need is only an advanced tool for us to make the briquettes so we can test the temperature, the water solution in the briquettes. That's it. Thank you, Ms. Anti.
Okay, thank you. You are very welcome.
Thank you for the reviewers for the constructive feedback and to the presenters for the amazing responses that has been given. The discussion is hoped to enrich and refine the research findings that have been presented. With that, we hereby bring this presentation and discussion session to an end. We now hand things back over to the MC to guide to the next agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie and team, for your outstanding closing presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the next agenda, we'd like to take a moment to show our appreciation to our amazing reviewer and contributor. We warmly invite Mr. Ainun Zulfikar, ST, MT, PhD, and Ms. Radendoro Atisatya Prabhata Dewi, SST, to come forward. Also, we would like to invite Ms. Nurianti Aziza, MPT, to come forward and present the certificate and souvenirs to Mr. Ainun and Mr. Ron. Thank you, Mr. Ainun, Ms. Roro, and Ms. Anti. 3, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the end of today's international seminar.
Thank you to our reviewers, presenters, and all attendees for making today such a success.
We hope the knowledge and insights gained today will continue to inspire our students in their academic journey.
Before we close, please take a moment to pick up any trash around your seat and keep our gagaim clean.
With that, today's event is officially closed.
Thank you and safe travels home. I am Rafa Akbar Dunungloh.
And I am Jennifer Alexander Lee. See you next year.